you have a threat that you may be benefiting in the short term with those games coming to a PlayStation and a less of an existential threat on a hardware basis, but on a software side, you're still bleeding because you still have competition. You're feeding the beast. The first time, because of Xbox kind of waving the white flag in the console competition space, but also growing. Everyone's like, oh, Xbox is Sega, but Xbox is not Sega.
And I was in the business when Sega brought their Dreamcast titles to PlayStation 2. So it does have historical precedence.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and today we're going to go over your next dose of the salty batch files, and we're going to check in this time in regards to the classic shills and fanboys, how they're doing with the latest direction of Xbox and the latest direction of shilling and grifting for their own audience, but we'll take a look at that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. All right, so like I said, what we're going to do is get right to it here. The first one being Astall here, of course, back once again, and he still can't get over, as well as many others, not getting over the fact that Black Myth Wukong is still not part of the Xbox ecosystem, so to speak. So, as you can see here, so it's confirmed that it was indeed a Sony exclusivity deal. So much for Xbox Series S's fault. LOL. Claiming from Gaming Bolt, of course, Black Myth Wukong received tons of support from Sony's Content Ventures team via their article and so on and so forth. But because a company, because a publisher, because however you want to break this down, helps with a project does not mean you get exclusivity rights, does not mean that you get a timed sort of precedence here. You don't get anything special for that. You might get some add-ons and stuff if that's the case, or whatever perks there, but you're not getting a timed exclusivity deal. So here they take it verbatim, twisting the words like they typically do, and they're looking at the fact that it's confirmed straight from Astall's mouth here that it is a Sony exclusivity deal, when that could not be further from the truth, because it would probably be on the Switch if it could run it at this point in time. So everything but an Xbox. I don't know the details behind why not and all that stuff, but people are leaning towards the parity clause, Series S, and this and that, right? But ultimately, as you can see, they're still not having it. They just want that gotcha, rabbit out of a hat moment for themselves, one way or another. That's how they want this viewed, and they want you to believe that. So again, be careful who you listen to, who you follow, because they're just going to twist those words, and at this point they're still salty and upset at the fact that they're not getting Black Myth Wukong at all, and who knows if they ever will. Nothing on the horizon, no rumor mill, nothing of that sort, but you love to see it. I know I do, but let's keep going on here. Now, this one I wanted to pull up. Yes, I know it's an older post or a tweet, but this gentleman, Johnny Boy here, he's gone back and forth with me multiple times and is just constantly, you want to talk about the most twisting ways possible here. Let's pull it up right here. As you can see here, he's talking about Game Pass, right? And it stands here. So going over it, the gain isn't high enough, and it would devalue Xbox Game Pass and the ecosystem. As experts in subscription and services, Microsoft will never do the whole slate. So hold on. Microsoft are now experts in subscription and services. Coming from this guy's mouth, that has no clue, by the way, but just likes to put Microsoft on a pedestal here, right? Satya knows this. They'd want Game Pass on PS5 before that. And what is he talking about? We're talking about the likes of Starfield. We're talking about Indiana Jones, or whatever first-party Xbox game that was not yet announced for PlayStation, or the fact that the whole slate was or was not coming, right? It was. I knew it was happening then. It's happening now. It's continuing to happen. There are no red lines. Everything was considered that. But here we have it. He's still on this hill, and I updated him, and I brought this post up to him while we were having a conversation, right? And he, of course, will twist it and twist it and twist it. I said the whole slate. That it's not the whole slate. It's just some games. So he's picking and choosing, right? That's what they do. They pick and choose whatever fits that narrative to make it seem like there's a win. The delusion is still there with these guys. He will not give it up. Eventually, I just kind of have to mute them and move on because they just won't stop. But like I said, they don't admit it to themselves to have a better time. It's okay that it's happening. You can still be an Xbox fan. You can still enjoy your time playing there. But why you want to sit there and lie to yourself and others and pretend everything's okay, it's not. And with that being said, let's get to our next example here. And this is just a quick little blog piece here, right? Stating the Xbox handheld is actually a next-gen ROG Ally. It's the best hardware crossover I could hope for, according to this blogger. So they go on and on. Feel free to read the whole thing, but I'm going to pay attention to the red underlined portions here. So the ROG Ally Xbox handheld is stealing Switch 2's thunder. I mean, I don't know if you can steal Switch's or Nintendo's thunder when it comes to that, for better or worse, mind you. But you gotta love the optimism here. And then, of course, from a marketing standpoint, that's a pretty smart move. So, again, why are bloggers doing this? Why are they trying to make something out of nothing? This is literally a ROG Ally with an Xbox sticker stuck on this handheld piece. Something you can go get a ROG Ally, a Steam Deck, an Asus, whatever. You can get whatever handheld, Lenovo. You could get you, a laptop PC, whatever. You can do this right now. Play gaming on the go. You don't need a sticker on something to make it seem like it's stealing Switch's thunder or anybody else's thunder for that matter in regards to the handheld market. This is not doing anything in particular except for the Xbox diehards that love the fact that there's a branded logo or a sticker on certain hardware. Everybody's a fan of something, and again, that's okay, but to sit here and act like this is so extraordinary, that this is so out of left field, that they really hit a home run once again here, that is not the case. We are looking at a fact that this is literally a sticker stuck on a piece of hardware, nothing more, nothing less. So again, you can go out and do this right now. Don't let a sticker stop you from doing this right now if that is your end goal and something that you want to do. But to sit there and be so preposterous as far as it's stealing Switch's thunder, and again, I'm not even holding up Switch 2 on a pedestal as of the lately. The news keeps coming out and the pricing and what's available and the power and on and on and on, and the Nintendo fanboys, of course, but at the very most, this is doing anything but stealing thunder of anybody in any shape or form. So you gotta love the play on words here and just that blind delusion and optimism. But let's get to our next example here now. It's been just a minute since we talked about Alex. Of course, he's back here. I can only imagine his army of Astro Cyborgs and many others are going to sit here and try to pick this apart, but let's put up the obvious right here. So, oh no, it's Alex. It's been doing tests, or I've been doing tests for the PC port code of The Last of Us, right? Because it's finally coming out, or had come out for PC and whatnot. It's one of the most boring games I've ever played, with the parentheses of games, essentially. Of course he would say this, but as we continue down this thread here, Wonton here, you delivered packages for 40 plus hours in Death Stranding. If Kojima made The Last of Us, you'd be something eating that game. You PC nerds are the biggest hypocrites. Well, especially Alex here, the grifters are, to clarify. There's plenty of good PC peeps out there that love it all, whatever the case is. But in the terms of a shill and a grifter, this is the biggest hyperbole that we're seeing right now. The hypocrisy at its finest. You can't find many better examples of what hypocrisy stands for than right here. But Lightning continues on, one or two. Maybe give him the benefit of the doubt here, one or two, right? Because a lot of people just love number one. A mixed bag of emotions for number two, kind of split down the middle. Maybe not at this point in time. We'd have to see the data, but he goes on to state both, not just one, not just two, but both. But again, and I don't have a problem with Death Stranding. I enjoy it. I think it's a niche, genre. It's its own kind of genre in a way, right? We've been over that before. But it definitely is not everybody's cup of tea. And you want to talk about boring, you have to really get into it. Everybody, even the ones that love this game, know the first couple hours are really a slog to get through. But once you do that, once you start unraveling it and understanding it, it gets a lot better. And some people it clicks for, and other people it still doesn't. But the fact that you're going to sit there and say The Last of Us 1 and 2 are boring in any way, shape, or form. The way the AI reacts, this and this. I'm not going to list the accolades on how well it performs, on how good the AI interacts with you as a player, how great the story is, how intriguing and captivating it is. And I'm not just saying that. That's just hands down how 90% of the folks that have played this series feel that way, right? Give or take. But the fact that it has to be a first party Sony, so he's got to keep up the charade, got to keep the audience under under his wing, giving those super chats, giving those donations, giving those views as he is their savior. Don't worry, guys. I played The Last of Us 1 and 2, and it's garbage. Don't worry about it. We're safe. Continue on. You know, all that good stuff there. But again, perfect example of being a hypocrite and a shill and a fraud and a grifter. Need I say more? No, I don't think so. So let's go on. So he continues on. He has another one here. So he's quoting Tripster here, right? Where was this, quote, energy when PlayStation raised the price of games to $70? Okay, 2K was the first to do that, but it was on PlayStation, so it's PlayStation's fault that games were raised to $70. Sure thing. PlayStation charged for upgrades to the PS5 version. They did. Everybody wasn't a fan of that, myself included. I thought it sucked. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants to pay more. All right. PlayStation raised the price of the slim PS5. Again, I don't see anybody jumping up and down and saying that was the right thing to do, but let's continue. PlayStation said $700 for the PS5 Pro. Again, not something that's easily digestible, but again, giving the stats, we've already been over this, right? People have been over this with Alex. The fact that he's bringing this up again, the $700 isn't a great value for a console that has the power that it does, that works the way that it does. If you want those extra bells and whistles and the better frames and the better resolution and, that is a great price. And a lot of people have been understanding and have been shown you cannot build a brand new computer for this price. You cannot go get a store-bought computer for that price and get the same type of results that you're getting with the PS5 Pro. It is not possible, especially with the casual market that don't know how to build their own PCs from used parts or whatever the case is, and tweaking and that and this and the other. Not happening. So again, I don't know what energy we're looking at here. People, yes, you don't have to buy the Pro. Nobody was truly upset with the Pro other than maybe some outside certain territories and countries that might be raising a little higher. I understand the concern, but nobody was sitting there also cheerleading the fact that it was $700, but it's understandable if that's the premium product that you want. The same reason if you're going to go get a 5090 right now, that's that person's prerogative to do that. Simple. And then, of course, kind of funny how now you want to be pro-consumer. And then, of course, he's talking about what Tripster said here. Imagine regular parents or grandparents going to buy games for the kids at GameStop and seeing this BS. This is going to confuse the crap out of normies, which is true. And he's talking about, you know, the upgrades and what's going on with the Switch 2 and their first-party games and how there's remasters or different versions of them. And it is going to, you know, confuse the crap out of casuals. I mean, the Xbox consoles already confuse the crap out of casuals because of their convoluted names, right? But again, where was the energy for that? But going on here, it's not because nobody ever not wants something or any product to not be consumer friendly. It's the give and take. It's the nature of the business. You understand that certain things do inflate. You understand you don't have to be okay with that, but it's up to you to partake in a hobby. This is not a need. This is not a utility. This is not food. This is not shelter. This is a hobby, much like any other hobby out there. Whether you're fishing, whether you're hunting, whether you're doing anything, it costs money to get ammo. It costs money to get guns. It costs money to get fishing poles and bait and the travel and everything that is a hobby is going to cost you money. It's real simple, but again, he thinks he has a W here. Where was this energy? Where was the nonstop grifting and shilling from you, Alex? That's what I want to know. But I digress. Let's keep going here. So we have another one here that I do want to go over here. So Anakin Botwalker here, I see, says South of Midnight, the actual gameplay is not good, quoted. Tragic, another Game Pass slop, even though the grifters have been disappointed. So Destin's in this thread, of course, that did catch my eye here. Yeah, I've got to be honest, I don't know if I want to finish South of Midnight after Chapter 6. This I actually am kind of shocked about. Do you think eventually that you do get these games that don't resonate with that Xbox crowd and they're just like, this isn't what I was looking for? Do they finally break down rather than shill and grift a little bit? Every once in a while you get to see the cracks, of course. And then, of course, Dave Winburn. Weird to hear that from you because, in my opinion, the game is fantastic. The best Xbox game released this year so far to me. And a lot of Xbox fans actually do like this game, as well as PlayStation fans that have tried it out on Game Pass or just ended up buying it. They ended up liking this game quite a bit. But, you know, Destin, again, the actual gameplay is not good. I really do not get the hype. So, again, once enough is enough for these guys. I mean, do we remember not too long ago how much they sat there and built up and overhyped Redfall? Do we not remember that from not too long ago? Does it eventually break them down going like, guys, okay, when is this next actual mind-blowing game coming out? You know, and then at this point too, they're also going to be kind of battered, right? They're going to be battered and bruised a little bit in a way because those games are also going to be heading elsewhere. So what is there to be excited about? Timed exclusivity at this point? That's about the most they're going to do. So you're going to start seeing these cracks more and more and more. But just so you know, this is just the beginning of that stuff there. So let's get to our next example here. This is great here. I thought this was great. Astro Cyborg actually referencing for the first time on this channel. Won't do it that often because he is a moron, but I do want to highlight this one here because seems just like such a desensitized and such a dumbed down version of no crap Sherlock, right? So wait a damn minute. I was told that Colt Eastwood tagging him and Septic Sauce Gaz were Xbox fanboys, yet here they are giving South of Midnight fair criticism. Interesting. Again, this plays off the back of the fact that people are getting tired of receiving games they don't like. That's not up their alley. They can't. What's the point of overhyping a game at this point that's going to more than likely head to other platforms? So of course now they're going to be straight up and talk about how they actually feel this game rather than overhyping it. And then again, it's interesting because there's a lot of people that do like South of Midnight. There really is. So the fact that they're clearly tainted. They're clearly upset about the direction overall. A lot of these guys have already been moving over and migrating over to that PC ecosystem thinking that that's a W, that's how they're going to get their shill and grift on, continuing that battle for and against PlayStation, right? That's what they want to do. It's clear as day to me. I think it should be clear as day to all of you out there as well, but pretty pathetic. But just a quick blip there, one more. But let's finish up with another one. We can't seem to go too long without mentioning the Catfish, a.k.a. Joseph Cruz, a.k.a. Andrea Piccinini, a.k.a. recently rebranded themselves as Extension. And here you see, I listened to the media and guys who said Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was a masterpiece, only to find out that the most boring and generic RPG I've played in years. I went back to Avowed the next day, and has the meme of throwing away Kingdom Come 2, and has Avowed in the hand. I don't want to play with you anymore. It's interesting because a lot of folks really enjoyed Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Really a great simulated experience, great story experience, and it's completely different than that gameplay style and graphics-wise of Avowed. Completely two different games. About the most similarities of it is it's kind of fantasy or medieval-esque and all that stuff, right? That's about as close of a comparison as you're going to get here, but both two completely different games. If you didn't understand what Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was before you purchased this or tried this game out, then I don't know what brain cells you have left, because you need to do a little bit of research, especially if you're such a gamer that you are going to do that sort of thing. And if you never played the first one, pal, this is not a W. Kingdom Come 2 is not a boring game, and this shows a lot of egg on your face right here. Pretty pathetic. And again, I haven't heard much of Avowed whatsoever since it come out, guys. A few people liked it. Most of the time it was just most people are like, meh, it's whatever. The only reason Indie, even though it's a good game, I hear, and has a lot of praise behind it, wasn't getting a lot of talk until recently, with it going to be released on the PlayStation 5 very shortly at this point. That's why that got some new revival behind it, some more energy behind it. But again, I'm sure we'll see some more energy once Avowed is named and released on other platforms here before too long, I'm sure. But you gotta love it. It's an Xbox first-party game. Forget this Kingdom Come Deliverance that sold extremely well on PlayStation and PC. I'm going back to Avowed, guys. But again, can't expect too much more from the Catfish themselves, so appreciate that. We'll wrap up the video here, guys. I appreciate you all. We're trying to get to that 3,500 subscriber goal, so thank you all for all your support. If you haven't already, leave a like, comment down below. Both those things do help out the algorithm. Of course, if you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing, helping out a small content creator like myself to reach that next goal so we continue to grow, spread the truth, and have some fun along the way. So thank you all very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and just remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see y'all next time on the next Xvault Gaming video. And until then, take care.